Namo Amida Butsu. Trust not yourself. Verses in honor of Master Shinran Shonen by Gansen John Welch. Please take to heart and sincerely note what the great poet Alexander Pope wrote. Quote, "If once right reason drives that cloud of pride away, truth breaks upon us with resistless day. Trust not yourself, but your defects to know. Make use of every friend and every foe. A little learning is a dangerous thing. Drink deep or taste not the Pierian spring. There shallow draughts intoxicate the brain, and drinking largely sobers us again." End quote. We need to know our limitations and beware of blind faith that may endlessly bind us to the wheel of death and rebirth. This is not a cause for hilarity or mirth. Place your trust only in good teachers of true Amida Dharma and avoid false preachers who will mislead you and cause you to misunderstand the very few good teachers like Rennyo and Yuienbo who, as devoted disciples of Shinran Shonen, show us how easily our feeble, frail, and fallible minds and brains will foolishly negate all so-called spiritual progress and gains because of ego's ignorance, arrogance, pride, and folly, thereby leading us astray and fatally away from the extremely narrow path of true Amida Dharma, as taught by Shakyamuni Buddha and all the masters of Amida Dharma. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you, Amida Buddha. Homage to Amida Buddha. I take refuge in Amida Buddha. The above verses were inspired by the following passages from Hymns of the Dharma Ages by Master Shinran Shonen. Pure Land Hymns on the Right, Semblance, and Last Dharma Ages by Gotoku Genshin. 41. Among my disciples who will give themselves to doing evil, wrong views and self-indulgence will flourish. And in the last age they will destroy my teaching. Thus Shakyamuni foretells in the Lotus Face Sutra. 42. Sentient beings who slander the Nembutsu fall into a vici or uninterrupted hell and suffer great pain and affliction without respite for 80,000 kalpas. Thus it is taught. 43. Receiving the true cause of birth in the true fulfilled land, through the words of the two honored ones, we dwell in the stage of the truly settled. Thus we will unfailingly attain nirvana. 44. Through the words of the witness and protection of the countless Buddhas throughout the 10 quarters, we should realize that the mind of self-power aspiring for supreme enlightenment is incapable of reaching fulfillment. 45. Realization of true and real shinjin is rare in the defiled world of the last Dharma age. The witness of Buddhas, countless as the sands of the Ganges, reveals how difficult it is to attain. 46. If we had not encountered Amida's directing of virtue for going forth and returning, our transmigration and birth and death would have no end. What could we do then, sinking in the sea of pain? 47. When we entrust ourselves to the inconceivable Buddha wisdom, we dwell in the stage of the truly settled. Those who are born transformed in the Pure Land are of superior wisdom, and they realize the supreme enlightenment. 48. Entrusting ourselves to the inconceivable Buddha wisdom is taught to be the cause of birth in the fulfilled land. Realization of shinjin, which is the true cause, is among all difficulties even more difficult. 49. Casting off the pain of birth and death since the beginningless past, we are certain of attaining supreme nirvana. This is through Amida's directing of virtue for going forth and returning. Our gratitude for the Buddha's benevolence is truly hard to fulfill. 50. Those born in the fulfilled land, practitioners of shinjin, are few. Those born in transformed lands, practitioners of self-power, are many. Since enlightenment cannot be attained through self-power, we have been transmigrating for innumerable kalpas. 51. The directing of virtue embodied in Namo Amida Butsu is, in its benevolent working, vast and inconceivable. Through the benefit of the directing of virtue for going forth, we enter the directing of virtue for returning to this world. 52. Through great love, which is Amida's directing of virtue for our going forth, we attain great compassion, which is Amida's directing of virtue for our return. If not for the Buddha's directing of virtue, how could we realize enlightenment in the Pure Land? 53. Amida, Avalokiteshvara, and Mahasatma Prapta ride on the ship of the great vow, going out on the ocean of birth and death. They call to beings and bring them on board. 54. Those who deeply entrust themselves to Amida's vow of great compassion should all say, Namo Amida Butsu, constantly, whether they are waking or sleeping. 55. Those who follow the path of sages all take the mind of self-power as essential. On entering the inconceivable working of other power, they truly realize that no working is true working. 56. Although we have the teachings of Shakyamuni, there are no sentient beings who can practice them. Hence, it is taught that in the last Dharma age, not a single person will attain enlightenment through them. 57. Eminent Pure Land teachers of India, China, and Japan, out of pity and compassion, embrace us, and guiding us to realization of true and real shinjin, bring us to enter the stage of the truly settled, of unfailing attainment of Buddhahood. 58. Those who realize shinjin, which is other power, revere the Dharma and greatly rejoice in it, and therefore are my true companions. Such is the praise of the world-honored one, the master of the teaching. Such is the benevolence of Amida's great compassion, that we must strive to return it, even to the breaking of our bodies. Such is the benevolence of the masters and true teachings and teachers, that we must endeavor to repay it, even to our bones becoming dust. Here ends the hymns on the right, semblance, and last Dharma ages. Namo Amida Butsu.